Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so anyway, right? And then I told her, oh! It's a big hand.
Yeah.
It's a big hand. Let me explain to you how this hand works. Join me, my friend. Welcome to the Harold and Kumar basketball show.
This is the running title.
This is the running title, man. It's the Harold and
It's not the
Kumar
set title, right?
What you just saw then was an example of how people can be talking shit and all of a sudden, bang, a big fucking hand will just pop up out of nowhere and just punch them in the face. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
This is going to be a weekly part of the Harold and Kumar basketball show. And the reason I say that is we're going to be picking teams to win.
Yes.
And the people that pick the most teams get to take this hand and punch someone in the face with it, you know what I mean? And then we're probably going to do the slow motions, you know, a la Rick James, Dave Chappelle, you know, like, you know those ones where you're going to use them a karate kick and then knock them out. But this is the big hand, and this is the big hand segment of the show. In this particular segment, we're going to be talking about who we think are going to be the top 8s in the Eastern and the Western Conference. You ready to roll?
Yeah, let's do a quick rundown.
This big hand kind of looks like a big dick if you think about it. Eh? You guys are disgusting. I didn't say that. Someone was thinking that. So
what have you got there?
Okay, well, you want to start with the East or the West?
We'll start with the West.
West Side! Lakers, baby. Alright, man. Number 8.
Is this in order?
Yeah, this is in order, man.
Okay.
I'll start from number 8 and we'll go all the way to number 1. I'm going to get a lot of controversy over all of these picks, actually, or the majority of these picks. Number 8, you're going to laugh. My prediction for number 8 is going to be the Warriors / Minnesota. Yes, I just said / Minnesota. So some of you are laughing right now thinking I don't know jack shit about basketball. And you know what? Potentially I might shoot myself in the foot with this, but I'll take the risk and I'll say Minnesota because of this. They've got some amazing young talent. They kind of remind me of OKC when they were coming up. Not necessarily in the same type of positions or the same type of players, but the same level of talent that they have on that team. I think number 7 is going to be Portland. I think Portland may end up eventually going a little bit higher, but I think they're going to be a dark horse team within the Western Conference.
They did sign Jamal Crawford.
Yeah.
Great addition to replace Brandon Roy.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, retire in peace, Brandon Roy. You've been an awesome player, man. Thanks a lot for some of the highlights, but you know what I mean, like. Best of luck with the recovery and things like that.
Definitely, and yeah, they've got, I guess, quite a young team. Can't really say an old team.
Yeah.
They've got good, I guess, centers such as Marcus Camby, and you've got Odin coming back.
Yeah, well, Odin, man. I mean, look, I don't know what's going on with
Well,
Odin.
Marcus Aldridge, you know, I think everything's going to be revolved around him.
At number 6, I've got the Clippers in there. I think the Clippers are going to start out like
they'll make it.
Yeah.
As I said before, they'll make the bottom of the top 8.
Yeah.
And they could get better, I guess, if they start stringing along a few good games.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Look for them to start like rocket fuel, man. Look for them to do this to a lot of teams at the start of the season. You know what I mean? They're young, they're hungry. Chris Paul's got something to prove.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They just want to get out there. They got so much energy just at the moment. You know what I mean? There's a buzz about that at the moment. But they'll start wearing off after a little while. You know what I mean? It's like
they're a young team as well. So, or they're a partially young team.
Yeah.
And I guess with this shorter season, I guess the younger teams will benefit. I guess with their stamina and speed and being able to play back-to-back games.
Experience is going to play a big factor in this season, and I think the Spurs are going to finish at the 5th spot. Some people are going to count the Spurs out completely. Just remember this: the Spurs finished number 1 last year. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't discount them out of this. I think this is going to be their last run, but ability to get up, in a good playoff position. For the Grizzlies, I've got them coming in at number 4.
Rudy Gay should be back.
Yeah, Rudy Gay.
By the start of the season. I guess last year with Zach Randolph, he played a real key part in Memphis's playoff run, and also just the run to the playoffs. Good low post and high post play.
And let's not forget Marcus Gasol, man. He's a beast, man. You know what I mean?
Well, those two guys, they kind of held it down for the team.
Yeah, definitely.
When Rudy Gay was out, so
yeah, man. And then you got Rudy Gay coming back, so you know what I mean. I think that's going to be a really smooth transition. I think they're going to do great.
And they've kind of kept that team most of that team for a couple of seasons now with Conley, Mayo, and Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
And Marcus Gasol.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you got the Gay Maynard combination. You know what I mean? Can't get past the Gay Maynard.
Definitely not.
But okay, so at number 3, I got the Dallas Mavericks, the defending champions. The Mavs are going to lose a step this year. They're not going to win the title. A lot of people don't really realize how much Tyson Chandler contributed to that championship run last year. Tyson Chandler is another one of those players that's an intangible player. His stats may not be like the illest, you know what I mean? Like, he'll probably get good rebounds, good blocks, but he's not going to blow you off the stat sheet, or get a high FIC. But he's an intangible player on the defensive end that really changes the game.
One of the reasons why the Mavs won the championship.
Absolutely,
just defense.
And this is one thing that sort of shits me about Mark Cuban, man. He overspends on these dud players. Like, I mean, he shot like 90 million over Eric Dampier's weight. The current dude, what's his name? The backup, Brandon Haywood. He's on like a $45 million contract. You know what I mean? Yet when it comes to players that matter, you know what I mean? He did it with Tyson Chandler. He cheaped him out. He went to New York. He did it with Steve Nash. He cheaped out Steve Nash, and Steve Nash went to Phoenix and won 2 back-to-back MVPs, man. You know what I mean? So, Mark Cuban, yeah, you've done a great job of winning a championship, man, but you're silly when it comes to these type of moves. So, Dallas is going to finish at 3. This is going to be the most contestable thing. Now, obviously, people are going to think that I'm biased. I've got OKC at number 2.
Yes.
I know you.
I'll pick him as number 1, to be honest. Such a young team. Another team that has kept most of their younger players and consistently for the past couple of seasons.
No doubt.
Kevin Durant, last year's MVP.
No doubt.
Will we get better? Of course we'll get better.
No doubt.
Russell Westbrook, they've also got defensive anchor in Kendrick Perkins.
Thunder are probably one of the most dangerous teams, if not the most dangerous team in the Western Conference at this point. Yeah, they're young, they're athletic. The reason I don't think that they're going to be number 1 is because I don't think they're as cohesive as they could be. I know that sounds funny considering that they've gone quite far in the playoffs before. Body language, again, I read a lot into that probably because I studied psychology. But Russell Westbrook just seems like someone that wants to run this team straight up. I know that sounds really funny, but I think his ego is going to get in the way of being as best as his team could be. I could be completely wrong, and if I am, then I'll be happy to be proved wrong because I actually love Westbrook's game too. But I think they're going to stick at number 2. I think they need a year or so before they get to that number 1 spot. You can't substitute experience, man. You really can't. And number 1, obviously, look, I'm wearing the jersey. I told you I'm going to sound biased. The reason I say number 1 is going to be the LA Lakers is because Dwight Howard will be a Laker before the trade deadline. And any team with Dwight Howard and Kobe Bryant, you guys could talk a whole bunch of shit and say, oh, who else are they going to have? And man, you could get Dwight Howard, Kobe Bryant, Hayden Turkoglu, Steve Blake, and Ron Artest as your top 5. With Barnes coming off the bench, they might pick up Juhan or something like that, as part of the trade. Pick up Kenyon Martin when he comes back from China or someone like that to sort of, backfill those positions. You got Mick Roberts. That's a championship team, At least that's a number 1 team in the Western Conference, as far as I'm concerned. You got the best center and the best shooting guard in the league on the same team. Can't go past.
That's not happening yet.